Turn your volume down.
Oh, see? I told you.
Hi, everybody.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Live from Rabs with Nazareth and I. We're happy to have you join us today. We're excited. Today is Wednesday.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes. And what makes it even harder to know what day it is that the winter shows have now ended. So there was no This Is Us last night. So I'm not 100% sure because I didn't watch This Is Us last night. So yeah, pretty sure it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. I got it. It's Wednesday, and I forgot the garbage last night. So
Thursday's coming.
Friday's coming.
Friday
for the garbage. I'll look out to the neighbors and make sure that I got the day, but I'm not sure. But today is Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in. This is episode 12. Naz, could you believe we're doing this 12 days in a row?
It's hard to imagine.
It's listen. We love doing this and communicating and reaching out to you. We'd rather that be here inside our building.
Correct. We'd rather you all be crowded in here with us, but
we hope that you are home, safe and healthy, doing the best that you can to stay away from people, not coughing on people, and doing your part,
and washing your hands,
and as we work together to flatten the curve. So thanks for joining us. We've got a great show lined up today. So we've got our friend Dennis Surmanek, Surmanek Wealth Management. He's coming in here, and we have a co-host. So we finally get our co-host Joe Bruno back in the studio to join us. Hey, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Oh no.
Again, what
I don't know.
There?
He was good before. I think this is user error.
All right, we'll come back.
We're gonna come back to Joe. Joe's gonna figure this out. We can hear you. There you go. Joe's gonna be right back, and let's bring Dennis in. Hopefully, we got Dennis. Hey. No. Did we lose you too? We've lost you. You can't hear us, can you?
We can't.
We can hear you.
There he is.
Joe, can you hear us? All right. Maybe we keep you guys on hold for too long. Maybe that's the problem.
I learned this the last time. You got to go out and come back in, and it works.
All right. We're gonna Dennis come. Dennis will be right back. We'll get Dennis back in here. Hey, Joe. Thanks for joining us today. Welcome back to the show.
Driving?
What? No.
Are you driving?
No, I'm operating a 349 excavator, so I'm just spinning. I'm not driving, but I am using my hands and I'm looking. So don't mind me not looking directly at the camera, but I could clearly have a conversation. But I'm just in the middle. I'm just doing something here to finish my day up. So how you guys doing today?
We're doing
good.
It looks like you blew your nose today, so we're in good shape.
I've been wiping everything down twice a day. I really been following the rules like nobody's business. I really have. I'm like paranoid now. How are you guys?
Well, we're getting to that point. We're getting there.
Hey, Dennis, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you.
All right, look at that. Hey, Dennis. So Joe is working. Joe's on his truck.
Yes.
Joe, are you an essential? I don't want to question your authority here, but this must be essential work you're doing.
Yes, we are still considered essential. We are subcontractors for city sewer jobs like sanitary sewer and storm sewer. So any job that's going on might involve connecting pipe underneath the ground where, you're either flushing your toilet or where rainwater goes. So we are considered essential. So I'm still here.
Well, thanks for being on the front lines and taking care of our feelings. And Dennis is at work today. Dennis, it looks like a nice, bright day in Manhattan right now.
It is. It's a beautiful day. It's sort of an overcast today in Manhattan. Actually, it's always like this. But I've never changed to that. It's always like this.
Hey, Dennis, if you could bring the phone a little closer to you so we can hear you a little better, if you don't mind.
I had it propped up. Is that better?
That's a little better. Maybe lower the volume slightly so we can hear you, and you don't overhear us too.
I've
All right. Hey, Dennis. So thanks for joining us. Dennis is our financial advisor expert here on Staten Island, and you've got questions for him. We certainly do. Dennis, thanks for stopping in for a little while with us. This is, we're in the land of the unknown. Talk a little bit about what's going on with you. So first, you're working, but you have your family at home. So let's start there with the family. How's the wife and the girls holding up?
So the girls are doing good, all three of them. Teacher mommy, as Lily calls Angelica, she's doing a great job. The Department of Education, great job keeping occupied, learning through all this. But they're healthy, home, they're sheltered. Um, we decided at the office to also have social distancing or occupational distancing, where we have our assistant first half of the day, we come in the afternoon, but working from home in the morning.
That's great. And just doing. I mean, and you're in your office alone, so that's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time, right?
Yeah, yeah. We're trying to clean the office every day and just make sure that surfaces are clean and doorknobs and all that stuff, because we're trying to be as clean as possible through all this.
Hey, it's Wednesday, and I know your BNI group usually meets for breakfast on Wednesday mornings. Did you guys meet today?
So we did. We've been meeting every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. It's been 2 weeks now, and from what we were told, it's going to go on until May 6th right now. But the meetings have been great. We have 30 out of the 35 members on, and we're still doing business, still referring to each other, sort of leads for the future, more than referrals now. But, everybody part to help each other's small business.
That's great. So, we've been talking a little bit about the getting together via Zoom or however it might be, and it's been a great way to connect. So that's great for you guys, and for those that are working, even better, so they can connect or just stay sane and trying to keep it together.
Oh yeah.
So, and in this climate, we've been talking about this for a few weeks together. What's going on in the marketplace? What are you seeing? What are your clients reaching out to you? I'm sure they're panicking, but what are you seeing?
So I think initially, you had panic, because you saw a market go down faster than it's ever gone down. You had 3 weeks of panic selling, of which you've never seen before. I worked and lived through 2008, and that was tough. But this is different. That happened over the course of months, whereas this happened over the course of weeks. So people do panic, but I think the difference in my conversations are than what you see on the TV is that my conversations are more personal. Where on the TV they're talking about forecasting and analytics and stuff, where I'm talking about my client who owns a retail business in Manhattan and hasn't seen a customer in 3 weeks, and what are we going to do to help him make sure that he doesn't go out of business, or um, some of my clients that are retiring in 3 years and they're panicking, thinking that they're not going to have enough money. And those are the type of conversations that I'm having with clients, because it's more on a personal level, than more general.
So are you like about how many clients do you talk to a day? Do you feel
I'm sorry, say that again. It broke up.
how many clients a day are you seeing or speaking to?
So good question. So I haven't seen anyone technically in person
Well,
uh, since since the beginning of March. But I would say on average, I'm talking to 20 or 30 a day, whether it's by phone, by text, by email, and by FaceTime. I think FaceTime has become, or Zoom or whatever it is, has become an excellent tool not only in the business world, but also on a personal level. I mean, my parents haven't seen my children in over a month, but they get to FaceTime them every day or every other day, and I get to speak to my clients by FaceTime, and I think it just, as best as you can, you keep that personal touch with your clients and with your family. And I think that's part of what's helping people through this mess.
Well, thank God you're getting dressed to see your clients.
At least from the waist up.
I haven't put on a shirt and a jacket in a month, but I did for you.
Oh, well, we appreciate that. I think your clients don't stand up.
Yeah.
Well, I have the Frank Wilkinson look today. I have the jeans on with the jacket. So
I'm rubbing off. I'm rubbing off. You gotta be comfortable, and nobody's gonna judge you for not wearing a tie or for wearing jeans. You're in good shape.
Right.
No, yeah.
And you talk about it. It's scary, right? So people just really concerned that their money is going to disappear. And so what's the best piece of it, without giving too much away, but what's truly the best piece of advice that you give to assure everyone, hey, stick in there, the long haul? What's that? What is it? That the thing that holds on most for everybody?
So I think the one piece of advice, and it's very cliche and it's talked about all the time, but I think in times like this, people forget is that investing is a long-term type of thing. It is not, for today. It's not for tomorrow. It is really for the long term, and long term can mean different things to different people. It could mean 3 to 5 years. It could mean 30 to 40 years. And I think that's the main thing that I think clients or investors should take away from this is that, yes, this is a different environment. Yes, this is a different type of recession. But if you go back, and if I had a tape recording of clients in 2008, and if I had a tape recording back other recessions, people say the same things. Yeah, but I think it's different this time. I think that it's not going to go back to the way it was. It can't go back to the way it was. And I just tend to believe that's not true. I think that the United States is resilient, and that we will get through this as a people, and the market will get back to the all-time highs, and it'll go further than that. It always has, and it always will. I don't know when it will happen. I tend to believe that this recession, which I believe we're already in, is going to be deeper, but shorter than most. And I think it's very important to stick to your long-term strategy. I'll tell you why. I had clients calling 2 weeks ago when things got really bad and the market got to their lows at that time, and they wanted to sell out because it was down 30+%, and I was able to 99% of them, I was able to hold them in. And then what happened a week later? Market bounces back 10% in like 4 days. So that stuff you can't control, but it's very important to stay invested for the long term. And, look at what you own. Look at the companies that you own. Make sure that you're in quality companies that you believe can get through this. Because I think you look out a year from now, and things are going to look a lot different. I think prices are going to be higher, and you would have hoped that you stayed in, as painful as it was during this time.
So early, you mentioned a little while ago about the recession. What effect do you think the upcoming election is, and possible winners of the election might have on that recession, or how we bounce back?
That's another great question. I think a few months back, when there were a wide spread of candidates, I think that question could have been answered many different ways. But you know what? I lived through 2008. I lived with a certain regime through 2008, and I lived through others, Republican and Democrat. And I think, and if I look at how my clients have done through those times, they've done well through Democrats and Republicans. And I think the Democratic candidate also went through a recession, and they got through it. So I think that as far as the market is concerned, I think that this market will start to turn around. Once this pandemic sort of, they talk about flattening the curve, when that starts to happen, and I think more importantly, when people get back to work, um, that is where the positive sentiment will start to turn. Because remember, for the market to go down 35%, people were selling, meaning that money's coming out of the market. It's going somewhere. It's
Somewhere.
either sitting in cash, or some people were buying bonds for safety. But if you look at the last 2 weeks, even bonds sold off because people were selling. It was
Everything.
it didn't matter what you owned; it was getting sold. So I think that money is going to flow back into the market once people are back to work, and that they don't feel like they have to sell stocks now to live. I think that's important because I'm starting to get those calls now
Yeah.
about, hey, I heard about this CARE Act. Can I take my money out and not pay penalties? I may need it to live on. I'm starting to get those calls now. So as long as this shut down and people start going back to work a month from now, even in 20, 30, 40% ranges, I think that things will start to turn around, and I think things will get better.
Yeah, and you and I talked a little bit about this a while ago. What do you tell your younger clients? This is an right. This could be a great opportunity to get in. And are they looking at that and saying, "Hey, I've got a few bucks and I'm going to do it," or are they sitting back scared too?
So I think the younger individuals, I think that they are experiencing the greatest buying opportunity of the last decade. I think that if there are younger individuals that never invested before, that this is definitely the time to start to think about that. And there are many different ways to do it. It doesn't have to be through a private broker. There's many online facilities to do it, where you can buy very good quality companies right now that are off their highs 30, 40, 50%. um, these are prices you might not see again for 10 years if all
Yeah.
goes. So the other thing is the 401k market, especially for the younger people, where I've gotten calls, hey, should I stop my contributions and wait the thing out? And my answer is, if you are receiving a paycheck and if you can afford to continue to put in, that 5% or 4% or whatever it is, I'm telling people to do it, because whatever amount of money it is buying this market at a 25, 30% discount. And I say it all the time. My industry is the only industry that when everything goes on sale, nobody wants to buy. Everybody's nervous to buy. And
That's
it's really
true.
the opposite. I have conversations with my wife. I know when her favorite stretchy pants or jogging pants are going on sale because she gets the email they're 50% off. She's buying because that's her favorite thing. She needs it. So in my industry, when things are 30, 40, 50% off, this is the time to buy and this is the time to get involved. I'm not saying that you could buy something today and 2 weeks from now it's worth a little bit less, but I think you look out a year from now, 2 years from now, you'll be very happy that you were investing at these.
So, Dennis, so don't you think that this is would be a good time to maybe find a planner or somebody to help you find that spot where it's kind of at the bottom where the buying opportunity would be?
Yeah, I think most advisors are singing the same tune, and is that this today is probably not the bottom. I think 2 weeks ago we were at 18,000 plus. I mean, hopefully that is the bottom, but what ends up happening is that as the market's digesting information, it's going to trade from where we are now, probably back down to those levels. I think if we can contain the spread over the next month, I think that's a great opportunity for this market to bounce back from that level. It's proven in history that these type of recessions, even though you might have hit a bottom a month ago, it retests that level, meaning that it'll probably fall back to that level within the next 30 days. So I think that will happen. But as far as speaking to a financial advisor, I think the biggest part about it is that our job is to take the emotion out of it. Okay, we're emotional beings, so we can talk ourselves into or out of doing anything. And especially when it comes to investing, there's a lot of unknowns, and advisors are making decisions based on unknown information all the time. So if the advisor can take the emotion out of it and say to you, these specific stocks or these specific funds are 20-30% off, and they will be there in the future, I think it gives people a little more confidence to take a step in.
Yeah, and the key there is it might be very easy to go on and do it yourself. And there are plenty of sites. Don't do it. Go speak to a professional, speak to an expert to the best of their ability. That's who's going to lead you. And so somebody like Dennis, to that point, is going to help you get there. So many people, everybody's individually. Oh, I just bought stock. I've got a great. Hey, let's go. You really should. And everybody's financial situation is so different. Go have that conversation, because you might be doing something that you could probably get more bang for your buck doing something else with either this or with this. And that's what somebody like Dennis is for. So, hey, Dennis, we got a question. And, I was bringing it up before when you first came on. Your hair is looking pretty sharp. So we've been talking about the haircut situation. So did you get a haircut?
So I did. I actually bought the dog clippers from Petco because my dog desperately. He desperately needed a grooming. So yesterday, as I took care of him, I was looking at my hair over my ears, and I can't deal with that. So for some reason, I asked my wife if she would like to try and give me a haircut. And of course, she jumped at the opportunity, whether it was good or bad. And she did an excellent job. We cleaned the dog clippers, and then we did it. And you know what? I think she saved me a month. I mean, I was very, very impressed. Very impressed.
You sure you don't have initials there somewhere? Yes.
I probably have a nick back here, but I'm.
My friend Kenny Soto says you're a brave man. Hey Joe, you're working there. You got a question for Dennis while you're listening to us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I was wondering if Dennis heard anything about possibly waiving the penalty on 401k withdrawals if you needed the money. Is that something that could ever happen?
So I think that's in the works, if it hasn't been put in place already, where you will not get the 10% penalty if you're under 59.5, but you'll still have to pay taxes on any money you take out. But I think they either pushed it through or they're going to push it through that 10% penalty is not going to be assessed.
The second question I had, thank you, by the way, you're doing a great job. How are these businesses or your clients going to pay their monthly mortgage or, nut, if you want to call it, if they don't have a customer for 2 months?
Yeah, and I think that is the biggest
like
question,
Frankie,
right?
kind of like Frankie.
Yeah, exactly. Just like this $2 trillion care package that they put out, that they did it very quickly. If you remember 2008, it took them a while to come out with their package. This happened extremely quickly. So they're a loan. I think you could start applying for the loans on Friday, and it has something to do with your payroll and the amount of payroll that you have, and then the loans. If you keep your employees on, then there's a possibility that those loans get forgiven. So I think hopefully the what happened with the unemployment line is so many people were calling at once that they're getting backlogged in taking care of them. I hope that the business owners, small business owners, are able to get this funding as soon as possible, so that they can not only pay their employees, but also have some operating income for themselves until they get customers back in the door. And I think it's a big timing issue because I think that $2 trillion package sort of pushed us out a month. So that's why they keep saying a month, a month. But if this thing pushes into May, they may have to turn around with another package. Because again, like you said, you don't have customers walking in your door for a month. We have rent, we have all types of expenses and things like that. They all have to be able to get paid. I know that because I did it myself, that you can push back your mortgage 3 months.
3 months.
3 months they can push back the mortgage, and I also made sure that they're not even going to charge you that interest for the
Okay.
3 months. It's a complete just forbearance for 3 months.
3 months to the end of the loan, right?
It gets added to the end of the loan, correct?
Yeah.
But what I was
Okay.
concerned about, okay, if I'm not paying my mortgage, are you still charging me the $1,200 of interest?
Right.
No, it's completely getting. So that's a little bit of a help. I think the next part that can really, really help the majority of small business owners, because the majority of small business owners in America rent.
Yeah.
They don't own, they rent. So I think that's the next thing that has to get done, is that there's a forbearance on your rent for at least a month or two. And Frankie, I don't know if you've heard anything about that. Are they pushing for the rent for April today, or are they pushing that off?
So based on the conversation we were having yesterday with Linda Barron, even in my situation, I tell everybody, you got to look at what's best for you. So there were a few options, and so in the payroll protection program, I'm still diving in, and you learn something new every time you look at it. Your rent roll and your utilities get taken into consideration. However, I do believe that if your utilities and rent are higher than your payroll expenses, that part won't be forgiven. So it depends what your payroll expenses are and your balance between the two, whether they be forgiven or not. I'd be the first one to tell you I would love for it all to be forgiven. I know that's not possible, but each program is so different. And one of the things we're also talking about, hey, it's easy to defer the payments for 3 months. If you're in a position to maybe pay it, you might be better off paying it, because then in 3 months, you got to pay the whole damn thing anyway.
No, what they're saying is they're adding it to the end of the loan.
Adding it to the end of the loan, but you're gonna pay it anyway. I have no income at all. There's zero income coming into our business, so this is a true loss of income, and it's sadly it's going to be for quite some time. You can't make it up. In some cases, some businesses might be able to make up the dollar they lost. Unfortunately, we're in a position where we can't make up the lost time. So what's the best opportunity to go seek that loan or defer payments? We're diving in. But my understanding is that, hey, based on what your true expenses are versus payroll, it could make the difference there.
And I think there's another thing that happens too, is if you have all these tenants that are not paying rent, then you have all these people who own apartment buildings or own land that businesses are on or are leasing them, that they still have property tax they have to pay for that. So, how does that affect them? Maybe they would want to forgive some of that, but they still have to pay their taxes whether they're getting income or not. So it's hard to look at just one facet of it. It's complicated.
Yeah.
I would imagine that the date is they're gonna keep looking at the date. So you're currently in June. It's got to get extended. What that date might be, who knows? Listen, it's a great overall, it's a great package. There are many of opportunities. One of the concerns that I have, and I'm not the only person, is that $100,000 threshold. To make $100,000 in New York City or in Los Angeles pays the bills. That pays the bills. So just because one makes over $100,000 doesn't mean that they don't have they can't receive benefit. You can't collect unemployment to an extent. Maybe now we will be able to. But that doesn't. Your pay. That just pays the bills. So that's a concerning piece, that is a blanket number across the country. In the middle of the country, it's different. But in these major cities, we're talking different story.
Yeah, you're right.
I would imagine for your clients that you have that are in that position, those are probably, I don't want to assume, but I would believe those are the ones that are asking you about their 401ks or taking money out.
Yeah, it's the workers that might have been laid off and have a lower salary, that they're worried about paying their bills, and they're worried. Some of these people that were laid off, they can't even get through to unemployment at this point. They're on hold for hours, and they give up, and those are the people that start to panic, and they're like, well, I can't get through to unemployment. I have this 20,000-30,000 that I've been saving that takes a while to save, and they're worried that they may have to tap it to live. So again, it's everything's moving very fast. The information's coming at us fast. The opportunities are coming at us fast. So I think it'll take time. We'll get through it. But like I said, I'm most concerned about the small business and getting them back up and running, because that's the lifeblood of this country, and I think that should be first and foremost, obviously on top of keeping people safe and healthy.
Amen to that. Hey, Dennis, before we let you go back to work, is there something you'd want to share with anybody that's taking the opportunity to listen to you? Assure them that, hey, we're okay.
Yeah, so I would just like to tell everyone that that it's very important to stay calm and to think about where you'll be in a year, 3 years, 5 years. And I think if you could focus on that from an investing standpoint, it'll get you through this, and it'll sort of lower that panic that you have. But if you do have questions, if you are emotional or anxious, I am here to speak to anyone. I've said it before in other meetings. Even if I don't become your advisor, I have been speaking to people and giving them advice, and not charging for it or not asking for their account, because I just feel like it's my duty to be speaking to people. I am considered essential. It was out in that letter sent by Cuomo, the financial services, and I think it's true, because we are dealing with the public, and making sure that they're happy and that they're as calm as can be when it comes to their investments. So again, if anybody has any questions, they can reach out to me. You can find me on the internet. You can find me on Facebook, and I would be willing to speak to anyone and help them.
Cool. We'll drop your contact in the comments here in a little bit. Hey, I had one other question. Somebody just popped in, and I believe the answer to this depends on the banks, from what I've heard from others. In your opinion, or what you might know, do you believe there are any specific qualifications for deferring those payments for 3 months, your mortgage payments for 3 months?
So when I called, they did not. They didn't ask me a lot of questions. They just asked me if my ability to pay was because of the pandemic, and I said yes. And they said, okay, we're going to put this on hold, but we're sending you an application in the mail. It's like I haven't gotten it yet, but it's supposedly a 1-pager that you fill out and send back, and that's it. It's on hold for 3 months. So it doesn't seem like they're really asking for much to be able to do this. And again, if you're in that situation and you feel like you'd want to do that, the banks are letting you do it.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dennis. Go back to work.
Dennis.
Go be essential and save people's money and save their heads from thinking that the world is ending.
And enjoy that view out your windows.
Oh, thank you. I really enjoy it so much.
Good deal. Thanks, Dennis.
Thanks,
we'll talk
Dennis.
to you soon.
Take care. Thank you.
Hey, Joe, what did you learn? Did you learn something there?
Yes, I have to make a call to Wells Fargo. That's what I know. Oh God. I was going to tell Dennis that my strategy is when the market is down 2% on the day, I just don't look. I just make believe that, it's not there, and I just look a different day. Do you do that, Frank?
There are days that I just don't look.
I just can't even look.
And you also can't. It's funny that you say that, and I say it a lot. You can't. It can't be scared money. It's going to change.
Yeah.
You have to know that these are, and Dennis said it. These are long-term investments. If you sit there and watch, you panic every day.
Yeah. Well, he touched on a good point. Depending on your age, if you're 25 years old, you should be buying right now. But if you're 65 years old, you can't. So it's all about where you are in your life and how close you are to retirement to take risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in some cases it's easy for us to say that depending on how. So yeah, 100%. I get that. Hey Joe, you're awesome. You came on as a co-host day one in the booth, and we know you're staying healthy and safe at home, so we appreciate that. We do miss having you here in the studio, which I know you feel more comfortable in.
Yes, I feel comfortable with the microphone, but
so funny that you say that. I wanted to ask you, hey, many of our viewers don't know what we're referring to. We keep talking about having Joe and Joe in our studio here, and we have a large audience that we've reached, which is awesome, assuming that they know the famous Joe Cal and Joe Bruno. And what they may not realize is Joe Cal and Joe Bruno started a live stream show every Monday night prior to our Scratch League bowling. And so I believe this is the second full season that you're doing it. Hey, talk about how that came about and what you do, because it's not just, it really isn't the show about nothing.
Well, first of all, we like to have fun. I met Joe Cal in the draft league. It's not like Joe and I are lifelong friends. We met through bowling, which is, one of the great things about our sport. Joe just had a sense of humor and never took it too serious. He's a big time competitor like myself and Tony Everts. We bowl to win, but at the same time, we don't, take ourselves too serious. So we always love the characters in the bowling alley. If you think about it, there's so many different kinds. The bowling alley has them all. And we always joke around. We nicknamed everybody, and one day we were like, we should interview all these characters one day. And then Joe was like, you know what? We really should. I said, we have the phone, we have the material, we have the characters. All we really need is just 10 minutes of their time to get them on the air. And that's how it all started. And we wound up we were using the fake microphone for a while. You remember that, Frank?
I
do. And then I went on Amazon. I'm like, you know what, Joe, let's get a real mic and try it out. It was $25. And then ever since we've been like, you know what, we got to get every person in the league on this way. Anyone else who's watching knows what the bowling community is and who they are. So that's how it started.
Well, Joe DiModio was with us this week, and he certainly alluded to that.
Yeah,
and the characters in bowling. So, of our characters on Monday nights, who's been your favorite to interview so far?
My favorite to interview. Well, when you get involved in this, it really matters when a person can take a simple question and turn it into a minute, a minute or two. Now I know what the professionals go through, but when you ask somebody a question and they answer it with one word, sometimes you're thrown off. You're thrown off because you assume they'll continue on with some description, kind of like what I'm doing right now, rather than me just answering a name. But so those are the best interviews. Somebody like John Barinello Jr. can go on with a question. Rob Vincey's funny. I'm trying to think who else. Michael Lando was always great. He'll just take the microphone out of your hand and walk around, which is even better, and to make his point. For the most part, everybody is, because they are all characters, like I said, in their own little way.
So one of the things that Joe does during the Lenten season, he gives up social media, and so Lent's canceled at this point, right, Joe? So,
well, I am very, very superstitious when it comes to sports and stuff. I don't know if you know this, but if I bowl good, Frank, the following week I park in the same spot. So I was bowling good for a while.
Hang on a second. Stop there for a second. How do you get the same spot every week? That's not possible in this place.
Let me clarify.
I don't want to give your strategy here.
I park in the lot versus on the street. That's what I meant. So if I'm bowling good and I parked on the street, the following week I park in the street. If I bowl bad that week, I go back to the lot. So getting back to the Lenten is that I gave up social media like 3 or 4 years ago, and it was good luck, and it was kind of refreshing. So I can't change it now because I'm superstitious. Like maybe something can go wrong. Meanwhile, look what happened this time. So maybe I should get rid of this one. But Naz, people are telling me, by the way, when you come back to social media, you're not going to believe what happened, which is this.
No, what I enjoyed more. Not that it was disappointing to not have you on social media for that amount of time, but the post when you came back was so. I don't want to say it was worth the time you were gone, but it was. They were terrific.
Yeah. Well, when I take off this social media time, I usually do catch up on all my shows, like Naz, we spoke about the last time. This is taking it to another level that we're quarantined. You can't believe the things I'm watching. I'm watching seasons of things. I am a full-fledged TV/movie critic right now. And people are like, you got to watch this, you got to watch that. And I'll just say, you know what? I watched it. I thought it was terrible. Or I really like this. I really like that. So that's what I've been doing during my Lenten break and now my quarantine.
So what's your favorite? So now what's been your favorite thing to watch?
I really, really loved Better Call Saul. I watched all 5 seasons. I really like that. I caught up on Homeland. I caught up on Narcos. I don't know if you guys watch Narcos. You watch Narcos, Frank?
That's on my list.
Naz, very good. But, my son and friends told me to watch Money Heist. I thought it was terrible. So, hey, that's one of them that I didn't like. But I'm just constantly trying to find things we can watch with the kids. I'm doing that a lot. We have movie night, 8 o'clock every night. Last night we watched Murder Mystery with Jennifer Aniston. Naz? Oh. Yes? No? Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was all right.
So yeah, is Tiger King on the list?
I watched it, enjoyed it. Joe Exotic, classic. Carol Haskins. Did you watch it, Frank?
I got through 2 episodes so far. I'm looking forward to watching the rest of the. It's a train wreck. It's an absolute train wreck.
It is. But after 2 episodes, you get the gist of it. But in episode 3, they get more into Carol, the girl that he has the feud with in Florida. That's worth watching. But episode 4 and 5 is kind of like the same thing. But it is a train wreck, yes. And guess what, Frank? The man runs for governor. You know this?
Yes.
And got 19% of the vote. Can you imagine that 19% of Oklahoma residents voted for Joe Exotic?
Hey, if there's anybody here from Oklahoma watching, please don't take
it personally.
Don't take it personal.
God.
Call last night with some friends. Mandy Hawes from Oklahoma. We said to her, "Hey, do you know this guy?" She goes, "Yeah, he's an hour south from here." So we plan. We're going on a road trip. I want to see that area for myself. You have to. But why not?
One of my famous texts when we text each other, friends that are watching it, I always write, "Is this America?" Like question mark, and it is. It really is.
No, it's America.
It really is America, and it really goes on.
That's good. We, speaking of Money Heist, we started Ozark last night.
Ozark is good. It's pretty good. It's worth it.
It's deep.
Yeah,
It's deep.
it's like a Breaking Bad kind of like tie into like a regular citizen doing like dirty underground drug work, but like Breaking Bad. But it can't compare to Breaking Bad, in my opinion. That was an all timer.
There's no comparison.
All right. Well, I'm catching up. I'm learning. I'm still watching Mad Men. I just started watching Mad Men, and I just started season 2, so that's what I'm.
And what do you think? What do you think so far?
It's really, it really is a stark reminder of how much things have changed.
Yes.
Between smoking and drinking and the workplace and how people talk to each other and
man versus woman, right? Oh my God.
Yeah, it really is. It's different.
We call Dennis Surmanek Don Draper.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope he's not Don Draper.
When he gets dressed up and he's got his slick back hair, he's got a look going. So when we call him Captain Don sometimes. Well, hopefully he's not like him at all, but he looks like him.
Right. I understand that very put together. Joe.
Yes, ma'am.
You go, Joe. You go.
I was going to say, I might even bowl in the summer. Imagine this. I mean, this is like, I'm missing it. I really am.
Unprecedented.
We're certainly hoping that we can do that.
So you're missing sports, I'm sure.
Yes.
What do you feel you're missing the most?
I'm going to tell you what I really miss the most. I miss my my little league team. I miss the kids. I miss seeing coaching and I coach at Great Kills Little League, and that's like my other hobby. We had the draft and everything, and I sent the texts out, to all the new parents that I had this year, and everybody was so excited. And then all of a sudden this accelerated, and we had to send out, a call and a text. Look, everything is going to be pushed back until May, and I never really thought I would miss it this much, because I always complain about, oh God, I got so much to do, I'm working, but now I miss the kids,
Yeah.
But in terms of pro sports, I mean, of course, you really don't realize how much we love it until it's gone. It is, the whole idea of sports is you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So it's not like a show that's scripted. So, every day was like a new movie in any game, in any sport, and now that's gone. We can't even, just think about all the things we would talk about during the day, just about a simple game the night before. It's not there anymore.
Yeah.
You believe those?
Right.
We're, as Mets fans, we're very used to coming in the office and yelling at each other about something stupid that happened the night before.
You know what? Dennis Charay posted something funny that SNY is posting games day by day, and they actually posted 5 losses in a row. They're trying to do like a season of the past, and we're 0-5 right now. Even now, when we get to pick the games to put on.
We're not playing. We're 0-5.
We're not playing, and we're 0-5.
They have an opportunity to make it great.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
They could only throw wins if they wanted to, but
We have the best they could simulate the best season ever right now.
They could. They have the greatest hits on, but it was like only lasted a week. We ran out of games already, Naz. But I miss it. Of course I miss it.
That's sad but true.
So Joe, I know this is going to be an interesting question for you. Favorite baseball player?
My favorite player probably is Mike Piazza. Just for the simple fact that we kind of became relevant again when the Mets picked him up. It was a slow time, and we needed like that star. And when he wanted out of LA, and everybody was calling for him because it was a perfect fit, it wound up being a perfect fit. He still hit when he came here, which is rare. A lot of them, when they come, they don't. He still did. And, we got to the series, and we made the playoffs in 99, and then we wound up going to the series in 2000. And for Met fans, that was really all we really wanted, right? Now it's just to get back to the postseason. And, Hall of Fame, So Mike Piazza.
The 9/11 hit, the hit
Yeah.
after 9/11 in that first game back, which I was at, and
Oh, right, nice.
amazing. It was
Chills.
It was
Yeah.
it was crazy. It was a crazy game, crazy time.
To think that we were just excited to get baseball back, let alone something to celebrate and feel. And New York came together. The way that New York came together, I mean, the whole country came together. And then sports being back on. You took the words out of my mouth. That's a moment that you probably can't. Other moments we'd like.
Yeah, you can't. If that's ever on that whole at bat, and it was on your TV, you can't take it off. You got to watch it, even if it's for the 500th time. It was great. And by the way, I still think we are going to come together again the same exact way. It's just what we do. You know, it's just what we do.
Hey, Joe, thanks for popping in with us today. We appreciate it.
Anytime, guys. Keep up the good work. People need an outlet, and you're providing it. So I thank you for that.
Well, thank you for being a part of it.
Thank you, Joe.
You know, our viewers, make sure you remember that face because you're going to see him again. I know you were bummed. You missed a great show Sunday night when we had Belmo on.
Look, I mean, I had a chance to interview the best bowler in the world, possibly the best bowler ever if he keeps it up. But you know what? My wife was like, "What are you really doing? We're trying to follow the rules here, and now you're gonna." I said, "You know what, Chris? They'll understand. Don't worry about it." So that's what happened.
We understand and we missed you, but you'll have plenty of other opportunities.
Oh yeah, we have some opportunities coming up, Joe.
Yes, I know. I got to talk to my man Joe Cal. He's the straw that stirs the drink. So probably when I get off with you, he'll be like, "This is what's coming up for the rest of the week." So he'll tell me. But
while he's here, tomorrow's shape is Thursday.
Tomorrow's Thursday, and we will have Tanya Rumiper, who is a world champion, PB and a PWBA champion. She's from Indonesia.
Interesting.
And she's a great bowler. She's a great bowler.
So that's that. We have Pro Bowler Saturday with Carolyn and Del Ballard.
Nice.
I can't. You have to have a question at least for Del.
I mean, you guys are getting Hall of Famers here. I mean, this is like crazy.
Yeah,
it's fun. Stephanie Johnson was originally going to be joining us this week. She's going to come later in the week. A little change in our schedule. Next Sunday, think about Saturday, but Sunday is going to be awesome too. I think we need to. We want to wait. You want to share? We're going to have a birthday party Sunday. Is it Sunday?
Saturday. Next Saturday, we're having a birthday party.
Next Saturday.
Go ahead.
Next Saturday, we're having a birthday party for Bob Learn,
Mr. 300.
Mr. 300.
That's right.
And he'll be joined by Amleto Monticelli.
Hall of Famer. Look at this. Wow.
So the next two Saturdays, this Saturday, next Saturday, it's not just Pro Bowler Saturday, it's Pro Bowler Hall of Famer Saturday.
Frank, do you really know these people or you just stalked them?
Naz and I have friends.
You'd be surprised. It's funny, between the two of us, and they're really willing to do it. We text them and they're like, yeah, we'll do it.
You know why, right? You know why they all agreed to do it?
Because they're not doing anything.
No, because they're part of the bowling community. That's why. And the bowling community is one of the most tight-knit communities out there.
You're right.
That is very true.
The truth.
And we're very lucky. And we mentioned that to Belmo. The accessibility to our pro bowlers, just in events, when you go to a PBA tour, or PWBA tour stop, and you go to a pro-am, a Bowl Like the Pros event, Bowl with the Pros, just an opportunity you just don't get. You get if you're for these other sports, and people argue that's not a good thing either, that they're so accessible. I could argue both sides. At the same time, I think it's awesome. It's what makes this industry unique. To your point, bowling community unique. You can go to an event and see them. The difference in other sports, you're paying a big ticket to go to a fundraiser or an event to go see them. So it's awesome. It really is awesome.
We are very, very fortunate.
We are, and it just goes to show you that whether it's the fact that everybody's down on the set area and we're tight when we're competing, whereas maybe you're in dugouts and baseball and sidelines and football, and But when you're competing against bowlers, you're right next to them, so you kind of like socialize while you're competing. It's just a tighter knit sport, you know. It's why it's one of the best, in my opinion.
You know
agree?
what? Well, oh no, 100%.
Absolutely.
While we're talking bowling, hey Joe, check out our meme of the day.
Lower it. I can't see what does it say? Read it.
No shaving until bowling, and it's a photo of a very little baby with a big beard. Hashtag
Oh God, I need a haircut bad. Oh my, everyone does. Everyone's talking about all the barbers and being shut down, and there's going to be a line out the door when we're clear.
You know, if anybody saw Marco, if you see Marco today, I think we're gonna have to take a picture because he's trying to grow a beard. This might be Marco by the time you get up and running. I thought about it last week, and I started to itch, and I'm going, no, you know what? I don't need a reason to touch my face.
Oh God, I can't wait to just clean up. But you know what? I just got to keep going and be patient and try. I found some positives before you go. All the kids, I have an 18-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 9-year-old are now forced to interact all day long. So, you know, the 18-year-old's playing with the 9-year-old, you know, and the 18-year-old's getting along with the 16-year-old. So families are bonding, Naz.
Unheard of.
Usually they walk by each other, but now kids are home from college. They're interacting with their siblings. This is a good thing. You agree?
I agree.
It really is. It really is. Hey, Joe, go back to work. Finish what you're doing.
All right.
Yo,
We'll see you guys.
See you later in the week.
See you later, guys.
Bye, Joe. There's nothing like having a nice breath of fresh air with Joe. Thanks, Joe. You know, we'll be back at it as soon as we can. And those that tune in on Monday nights, I'm sure Joe and Joe will be ready for you in Studio 710. We shared our meme of the day, which we if you caught yesterday's show, we went a little bit long, and so we shared it at the end of the video, and that was funny too. We're following the hashtag Bowling Strong, and that's keeping our bowling families and our bowling centers and our bowling community all in top of mind, which is great. So be on the lookout for those memes. Hey, yesterday we got a video from our good old friend Bill Salvatore, who was on the show and showing us how they bowled from home. So check out this video we got from good old Bill and his wife Teresa.
We call this backyard bowling at the Salvatores. There's Teresa getting ready for her first shot. Going on her approach. Here we go. Roll. And it's 9. And notice the automatic ball return. Okay, pitch in the sidewalk. Automatic ball return. And here comes Teresa retrieving the ball. And we're going to go for the spare. See if she can get it moving far left. And takes her approach. Releases it. And it's good.
Beautiful sidewall.
So please continue to share those. Hashtag bowl from home. He said that was 9. I'm going to call him out on that.
Yeah, we don't really think there were 10 pins that were standing up there. But you know what? It's bowl from home. There's no rules.
That's 5 spare, I think. Missing half the rack, so we got the other half. That's awesome. So you're right. There should be no rules if you're bowling from home.
No rules.
So continue to share those videos with us. They're awesome. It's keeping us feel like we are having that opportunity to do something. Keep yourself active and busy. It's great. So keep sharing those. Hashtag bowl from home. We want to see them. Send them to us. We want to make sure that you get to see them too. Naz talked about that. We just talked about the rest of the week. We got a nice week lined up. Pro Bowl was Saturday. Is going to be awesome for 2 weeks.
Yep.
So we're just delivering, baby. I love it.
Friday we have Joe Ambrose from Wagner College, the coach of the new Wagner College bowling team. He'll talk to us a little bit about getting his program started from scratch and what he's looking forward to in his first year here. And then he's going to be joined by Janine Murphy, who is a social worker, and the head of the Autism and Spectrum program at Newdorf High School. She's going to talk to us a little bit about dealing with your time at home with your kids.
We're bringing her in for entertainment value.
Absolutely. All that is all fluff. We're having Janine in here because she is lovely.
Well, tune in tomorrow because we've got Tanya and our weekly check-in with Pam Silvestri. Man, she's busy every day. If you tune into her Facebook Live,
catch her at 9:00 in the morning.
And I think she's calling it a diary on SALive.com, letting you know who's open, who's closed, what's going on in the marketplace. Hey, thanks for joining us. Be sure to like and share our videos. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, like. Thank you to Dennis and Joe.
Yep. Again, another great show.
Episode 12 in the books. And you know what we like to say, Naz?
That was awesome.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye. All right.